Hi, I'm Brenda Howard, and this is Module 5 in Applied Ethics in Healthcare. How do we work through ethical issues when I disagree with the team? More complex ethical decision-making is rarely done by individuals. It's usually done in a team of professionals working together with a client and their family, and all stakeholders will have input into this decision-making process. However, this process can look very, very different depending on the particular team dynamics. How do we work through these ethical issues if I disagree with what the team is deciding? So we're hanging out this week with our third objective, and that's putting into practice what we have learned so far about the ethical theories and principles and standards and frameworks. And we're taking and applying those to cases, and then we're evaluating how well that goes. So we're going to be doing some deep thinking this week, in particular about what do we do when we're doing these decisions in a team, and how does that work out? So for this week, I'm hoping that we will apply our strategies for ethical decision-making within a diverse team, and that will demonstrate effective communication and professionalism in managing these ethical issues. So we've got a foundation in our Sharpe's 1995 seminal article, which provides us this starting point. Sharpe says that teams may make decisions by a number of processes, but that teams operate differently if they choose to make the decision together as a team versus having it mandated from administration, say, for them to work together to reach a decision. The team will function better if they choose themselves to make it a goal to have a team decision. Papadimitriou et al. In 2023 builds on Sharpe's foundation. This group of authors says that not all decisions are going to look like Sharpe's neat, organized process. We don't just march through steps. In fact, many times decisions in the moment, maybe the smaller decisions along the way, are going to have ethical implications. So we need to consider in the moment what we know of the client, and then make decisions with the client involved. And it's an important part of the process that had not really been previously examined in the literature prior to this article. These authors state that it's different because in physician-oriented, office-based encounters, the physician just makes the decision, and it's harder for the physician to know the patient or client as well as what you might in a rehabilitation type of situation where the encounters are happening more like several times a day and with several team members involved. These micro decisions, as the authors call them, give patients more autonomy, but they're not as life or death as some of the bigger decisions that we make. So how is ethical decision-making different under these conditions? Is it easier? Is it harder? Is it something that we need to deliberate about more, or just analyze and think about how are we going about making these decisions in the moment? In the Rutka et al. Article, we're returning to more complex, multi-stage ethical problems. While Rutka's not particularly talking about ethical decision-making, they are talking about the process of decision-making, and it certainly can apply to ethical issues. This was actually a long-term study that didn't require any special approach for teams to use to make their decisions. It just looked at, if we're making decisions as a team, do we tend to make better decisions than if we make them as an individual? So it's all about, if we get together, are our decisions better than if we're making them individually? And the authors conclude that teams do make better decisions than individuals, especially when an autocratic or paternalistic, decision from on high is not desired, which is most of the time in healthcare. So this is a long article, so please skim it, but look at the things that they say makes for a positive or a negative impact on the quality of a decision. And consider, if group decisions are better, then why do we make decisions individually? Are we doing them just for convenience, or is there a reason why we might need to make decisions on an individual basis from time to time? Decisions, and they always seem to be more complicated with a team. So let's explore how you work with others for shared decision-making with some readings, reflection, and some practice.